Ladies and gentlemen, when the opposition said that FDI creates a job and opportunity for everybody in Indonesia, but yes, we agree with that, ladies and gentlemen, because the fact that FDI is really creating a job for our people. But ladies and gentlemen, this debate is it's not about how FDI creating a job opportunity or stuff to our people, but actually, this debate is about a policy that creates by them, by FDI and also by SMEs, which one is more sustainable and which one is more greater in our employment, especially in Indonesia. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see first the characteristic of FDI, okay? So FDI is so capital intensive. They're also centered in some regions, for example in Java or Jakarta, because they're taking somewhere with the greater and the better infrastructure and environment. And secondly, and thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, they are limited to a specific industries. But ladies and gentlemen, we need to remember that SMEs exist also in Indonesia, that it happens in all places in Indonesia. And why? And that is why SMEs is actually receiving a lot of support, because thousands of business will expand continuously in every places. And also secondly, ladies and gentlemen, when this expand, it will also creating an opportunity and a job for everybody across all of the places, including urban and also rural places, and also for all of community in Indonesia, not only some part people or just segmented people. And thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, we actually reach lower income households so that everybody could get a greater impact in here. Therefore, our policy creates a more inclusive and also more better environment. Second, ladies and gentlemen, when they mention also about FDI actually creating a technology, yes, they are, but we need to remember that technology transfer that they mentioned earlier is not actually automatic, because there are a lot of multinational or international companies that actually wanted to protect their property, and also they also import technologies instead of sharing them. So actually we are buying from them, not helping and transferring it from them. So in here we could know that FDI does not guarantee Indonesia to become more innovative, but sometimes they just give us the things and that's done. There's no creation, there's no innovation there. While if we actually gave SMEs a great training, a great education on digitalization and also technological assistance, or we also taught them about financing, actually that creates a capability and also independency towards our nation, and it actually creates an innovation rather than giving the technology and that's done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if the opposition said that FDI grows faster, our response is that GDP or GDP alone is not a right measure to actually know about what is faster in our economy, because we should actually prioritize SMEs, because we have a great income distribution. It also built a resilience. It also giving a national, ownership in domestic. It's not in international. And actually, a country could also still get a high GDP growth while working on SMEs if the SMEs is strong enough, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's move to my argument, which is SMEs is actually producing more greater regional development in some places. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes, like I mentioned before, that FDI is actually creating and also giving an opportunity for some people, which is in just some nation, like in Jakarta or Java centers. But we need to remember that this actually creates a lower and also a worse impact, because what will happen, Indonesia will never be great enough in every places, because it only happened in Jakarta and in Java centers only. Because what about in Papua, Sumatra? What about in Kalimantan, Sulawesi? We want that to have a greater infrastructure, a greater innovation and also technology also. So in here, if we are actually receiving, if we are actually attracting FDI rather than SMEs, yes, it grow faster, but it actually not giving us a guarantee that Indonesia's economy would be great. Even it's just like giving centrical movement and also development just in some places, ladies and gentlemen. While in here we already exist, which is SMEs, because SMEs already exist in many places, like in villages, remote area, rural area, island even, like in island that is far to reach, but they already have SMEs in their hometown, ladies and gentlemen. And when government is actually prioritizing SMEs, the investment will actually reaching all of the communities, and even the communities that sometimes often forgotten by people. What will happen in here? We will actually lower the inequality towards our people in our nation, and also it reduces urban communities, ladies and gentlemen, and we have more balanced national development and also more opportunities in all cities. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, what will happen in here? We will gain a great financial stability, market access, productivity in every places, and also a great technology with innovation from ourselves. And what will happen to all of the workers, ladies and gentlemen? They will get more opportunities also, because we still get it, and also we also get jobs closer to home, because they don't need to go to Jakarta to get the job, and also better income security, because we are it came from our nation, and it didn't impact by the other factor, like the war and stuff. Proud to be government. Thank you.